Former Detroit Mayor Craig Kilpatrick, once seen as a rising star in Democratic Party politics, was convicted on Monday on 24 federal charges of corruption and bribery during his 7-year tenure. Prosecutors accused Kilpatrick, 42, his father and a city contractor of widespread corruption, extorting bribes from contractors who wanted to be awarded or keep city contracts, turning the mayor's office into Kilpatrick Incorporated from 2001 until he resigned in 2008. Many people in Detroit believe Kilpatrick contributed to the decline of the city, home of the auto industry. The verdict was handed down as Detroit's financial crisis was nearing a new low, with Michigan State soon expected to appoint an emergency financial manager, a move that could lead to the biggest municipal bankruptcy in the United States. The 12 jurors, who deliberated for 14 days from mid-February in a district court trial that started last September, returned a sweeping verdict against Kilpatrick following the biggest public corruption probe in Detroit in decades. Prosecutors accused Kilpatrick of steering more than $83 million worth of municipal contracts to his friend Bobby Ferguson, the city contractor, who shared some of the money with the former mayor. Jurors found Kilpatrick guilty of racketeering, extortion, bribery, mail and wire fraud, and tax charges. They found Ferguson guilty of racketeering, extortion and bribery. The most serious charges called for prison sentences of up to 20 years. The former mayor's father, Bernard Kilpatrick, was convicted on a single count of signing a false tax return. The three men have been free on bail during the trial. District Judge Nancy Edmonds scheduled a bail hearing for later Monday and did not yet set sentencing dates. Craig Kilpatrick, who wore the dark suit and patterned tie in court, was quiet as the verdicts were read, resting his chin on folded hands. At times, Kilpatrick shook his head. The judge, before reading the decisions, said the jurors reached the verdicts late on Friday, but wanted to go home and sleep on it until Monday. They were unanimous on 40 of the 45 charges against the three defendants. Intense deliberations. Jurors told reporters that the deliberations were intense at times. There was always respect, but sometimes arguments got a little heated, one juror said. All of the jurors asked not to be identified for privacy reasons. Another juror said she twice voted for Kilpatrick for mayor, but changed her mind about him after hearing the evidence. I saw a lot that really turned my stomach, and I couldn't believe this type of thing was going on, she said. The juror, who described herself as a social media geek, said she broke her habit to avoid reading accounts of the trial. It wasn't a big temptation for the simple fact that we have been in the room for a very long time, she said. We've had to sacrifice personally, professionally and dedicate ourselves. Lawyers for the three men had argued that the government's case was built on weak evidence and witnesses who lied to gain favor with prosecutors in their own public corruption cases. None of the defendants testified. Ferguson's attorney, Michael Ratak, told reporters afterward that it was too soon to talk about possible appeals. Kilpatrick was seen as a rising star in the Democratic Party when he was elected Detroit mayor at age 31 in 2001, but his tenure was marked by accusations of cronyism, nepotism and lavish spending. Witnesses in the trial included the top former mayoral aide, the mayoral fundraiser and a former city contractor. Evidence included text messages, bank checks, federal wiretaps and surveillance video. Former Detroit Councilwoman Sheila Cockrell, who teaches Detroit political history at Wayne State, has said she believes the culture under the Kilpatrick administration exacerbated the city's already deeply compromised financial infrastructure. Detroit, which had about 706,000 residents according to the 2011 U.S. Census, lost more than 50% of its population starting in 1950, leaving it with a shrinking tax base and huge debts. The verdict is seen as a major victory for federal authorities, though they have racked up more than 24 convictions since 2008 in an effort to purge Detroit's cash-strapped city government of graft and corruption. The previous trial for Ferguson resulted in a mistrial after a lone juror held out and deadlocked the jury. After the verdicts were handed down on Monday, Detroit Mayor Dave Bing said in a statement he was pleased that the trial was over and we can finally put this negative chapter in Detroit's history behind us. It is time for all of us to move forward with a renewed commitment to transparency and high ethical standards in our city government, Bing said.